Hello there, my friends. Nice to have you here. This is the Gisela show. I talk to you about the latest things in skincare, the latest things in homeopathy, and whatever else I can find to talk to you about. But first, let's say hello to Amnon, our producer, who is so graciously spending his Monday evening with me and you. Hello,
Hello, how
Amnon.
are you?
I am just fine. I hope you are good too.
I'm just fine,
Now,
but it has been raining all day and it's supposed to rain all the way through
ah,
tomorrow morning.
ah,
But,
and you're sending it our way because we are going to get all kinds of rain tomorrow.
oh, okay. Yeah,
Well,
it's
hey,
not
listen.
hard rain. It's very light, but it's enough to make water run, but it's like if you put stuff on your lawn, it would be perfect soaking rain. But anyway,
Yeah,
let's tell
it's the
everybody
kind
but
that snails grow.
well, okay.
Yeah, those slugs and those snails. When it's warm, is it warm?
No, it's actually cold. It's in the upper
Ah,
50s.
oh, yeah. It's not, we have a fire tonight too. It's not, we've had almost every evening still a fire, even though in the daytime it has been 60s, 70s, but at night it still has been cold. Yeah. Well, spring is not springing really
No, it
fast,
does not.
you know. But I mean, what can you do?
Nothing. It's fine.
Taxes and weather. You can't do anything about it.
Right. It's okay. Let's
Nothing.
tell everybody that they can call in by dialing 919-518-9773, or they can come in through Skype, voice only, computers 2K voice. Of course, we want you to log into the chat on the page that you are on. You can put any name. After it's done, it's gone away. We don't know your email. We don't know who you are, but it'll be nice to have participants.
Right. It's always nicer, folks,
Yep.
when we have some call-ins, questions. Um, I'm going to talk to you today what you can do about snails in your garden. Maybe it's a little premature because here in the Northeast, where I am in Pennsylvania, spring isn't really yet here. We don't really have anything growing in our garden yet, but we will have, hopefully. And then I'm going to talk to you about um, rheumatism. And this is the time of the year when people with rheumatism really suffer because it's wet, it's often damp, cool, in between sort of the dampness. Rheumatism thrives on that. So I'm going to give you a couple of remedies that you can help your pain with and also alleviate the effects of rheumatism. So let me just jump right in about the Pexy snails and slugs. Let me tell you, I mean, there is really snails, okay, right? But these slugs, I mean, it's repulsing. It really is repulsing, and I can't stand them. But they eat everything. They eat all the new growths. I mean, if you have in an area where you have salads already growing, all the new little things uh, get eaten up by these slugs. Now, there's a remedy that you can use, and you can sprinkle all around your new growth and those new tender leaves because the slugs love those uh, of new growth. First, now it's salad that comes up, and you just put some Helix toaster, Helix, new word, Tosta. And you can use a 30C, you can use the small one, you can dilute it in your water can and then water the area. But if you have a lot of rain, you don't really want to water too much. So make a small amount in a spray bottle and spray it all on. Works really well from what I understand. I have not personally tried it yet, but I will this spring. And anybody who has used it already, I would love to have your comments on it to see how well it works. I just came up on it of Helix tosta that it does work for snails. Now, any other varmints that eat your plants, it does not do a heck of a lot for that. But from what I understand, a little dishwashing soap with some apple cider vinegar, diluted, spraying on everything, works for many of the other little varmints. We got a lot of chipmunks here, and they all have babies now. And I don't know, they might like the dishwashing with, I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. So this year I am going with a vengeance towards my garden again. We love our little salads in the spring, and hopefully I will keep you tuned how well all of that works. Anybody has a comment on how it works? Amnon, your wife is a big gardener. What does she use?
For what? What did you say?
What?
If she is a what?
She's a big gardener.
Oh
What
yeah.
does she use against anything that
Oh,
will
I don't
eat
know.
her little
She
plants?
mixes all kind of. I mean, all summer long. You'll see her mixing. I see old bottles of Coke and soap, dish soap. I don't know, all kind of
Yeah,
different things that she mixes together and sprays.
yeah. I mean, there are a lot of them. Folks, anybody out there who has a really great recipe, please chime in. Tell me. Okay. Like I said, Helix tosta does work for snails, but for other things, I don't know how well it will work. But if you can, just see that you give us some of these recipes that you have. We love to hear it. Okay. Um, Anybody suffering from rheumatism? You
Not,
know, those swellings in your hands that go like, or rheumatism in your the fleshy parts of your body.
I don't,
Anybody
I don't know anybody that does.
that does? Well, if our listeners, anybody suffers from it, get a pencil and write down some of these remedies because they do work. One of the ones that I have had great success with is roost tox. Now, roost tox is also a polycrest remedy, and it works for a lot of things. You know, like for instance, for those small little herpes, if you are, if you have, um, yeah, any kind of herpes, um, even so much as um, where it really covers large areas, blisters, anything that blisters on your skin, roost tox. Now, what also work? Roost tox also works well for rheumatism because rheumatism really is an inflammation, and the inflammation that it gets warm, it gets creaky, it gets so that you really can't move, painful stitching pains often. You when you have an outbreak of either rheumatism or herpes or any of these these ailments, you usually have a slight fever too. Rhus tox works fabulous for that. I have a friend who has very bad rheumatism in her knees and in her feet. And she's been on Rhus tox now for quite some time. And it works wonderful for her. It really does. Anything, any pain, joint pain that comes from moving about, and Rhus tox really attacks the fibrous tissue, like the muscle tissue and sinews and so on, the sheet of the muscle. And that's when you can hardly move the arm, or you can hardly. Rhus tox works great for that. There's also Bryonia alba. Bryonia alba. Bryonia alba is also Polucrest and works for a lot of remedies. Bryonia alba also works for if you have a violent inflammation somewhere. Bryonia alba works great. The pains usually shift, right now they're in your hip, then they're in your shoulder. You can't really pinpoint where the pains are. That's a good indication for Bryonia alba. Now, I've talked a lot about Ledum Pal, and Ledum Pal is also a remedy that we use for rheumatoid gouty inflammation. I had just a client just recently who came to me and she said, "Oh, I've got to buy a pair of new shoes." I said, "Well, what's wrong with your shoes?" "Well, my big toe, it's the bunion really is so sore, and I have, I can't wear those shoes that I have," and so on. So I said, "Well, let me look at your bunion, let me see." Well, it was slightly inflamed, but it wasn't hot, and it wasn't really very swollen, but she had really a problem of walking. So I told her it was really, especially for things like that, it was a gouty, too much uric acid. And at first she was like, "No, no, 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 I don't have any uric acid, and I get checked all the time." And so on. I said, "You know what? Just take a dose of urins, and let's see how where you go with that." Well, lo and behold, the next morning pains were gone. And she looked at me like, "Wow, how did you know that?" I said, "Well, because I'm a homeopathist and I know these things." But if the urins does not work, it might be an indication for Ledum Pal. Ledum Pal also has the tendency, but then you have a tendency that it hardens, when the swelling hardens, sort of like when you touch on it and it feels soft, urins. If it feels hard, the swelling feels hard, use Ledum Pal. Ledum Pal is really also a remedy that we use. Really, it's like like tetanus. I had a worker here who was building me a new chicken coop, and he stepped on a nail, and the nail was in the foot, and it was like, "You gotta be kidding me." And so I took a pair of pliers. I couldn't even pull the nail out. I took a pair of pliers and I pulled the nail out. And then we took the shoe off and we saw the blood. And yeah, nail had penetrated the skin. And it was a nice and rusty nail too. And that could be a nice indication for tetanus, you know? So I cleaned the wound. It wasn't a deep wound, thank God, but I cleaned the wound and I gave him 30 C's Leadham Pal. And several hours later, he put on a pair of new socks, put on his shoes, went back to work. And several hours later, I asked him, I said, well, how is the foot? Foot is perfect, had no pain, no inflammation. So let's see when tomorrow morning when he comes, if everything is still cool and we don't need to give him another dose of Leadham. But if you ever have that, right away, Leadham Pal. But it works well also for gouty rheumatism. Now, one of the things that a lot of women, especially, they get gouty nodules in their hands, in their fingers. They swell. They really get bad, and they have to work in the morning to get their hands going. Many women. I have a client who has that, and we have been very, very successful with caulophilium. And that works in the metacarpal joints, particularly for females. It tones down the inflammation, the movement is much faster, and naturally that again works much better when it is not very advanced yet, when you can get it in early stages. So if you have somebody, a mother, sister, aunt, whatever, who has that, try to give her this is how it's spelled. If you have a pencil there, please write it down. CAULOPHYLLUM. Caulophilum. It works remarkably well. It's always amazing of how homeopathy works. You know, I'm just so, the Queen just turned 91, and I saw a picture of her. She looks fantastic. And guess what? The Queen of England and the entire royal household has their own homeopathic physician who treats them 99% with homeopathy. If there is something that they have to be hospitalized, or fortunately, I haven't heard anybody in the royal family to get a major illness of any kind, but she travels with a small homeopathic kit at all times. So what's good enough for the Queen of England is certainly good enough for me. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. So do we have any questions out there?
Nope.
Nobody. Well, that's really odd.
That is not odd. That is sad. That these people are.
It's more than sad. Yes. Come on, folks. You know what? I mean, this is no fun if I don't hear anybody out there who says, yay, Gisela, or yeah, I've been trying that, or no, I don't agree with you, or whatever. Come on, you know, my email address is very easy, homeopath for me livelive.com, or you can email me through Nissan Communications.
If you just look at the top where it says with host Gisela De Carlo, if you click on Gisela's name, that's the email. It'll open your email client.
Right. So, there's no reason why you can't get in touch with me. Please do, because I love to hear from you. Once in a while I do. Once in a while, in a week or two, we will have another guest again, and we will have something else. It will not be entirely homeopathy, but it will be an interesting subject. I always try to have interesting subjects for you.
Did you get
now, I did get the email.
Okay.
I wrote back.
Okay, that's fine. I was just going to ask.
We're setting up a date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
We're setting up a date.
Good.
It's going to be nice. I love goat's milk. It's going to be all about goat's milk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just to give you a little heads up. Now, there is one area in rheumatism that is really, when it is very chronic, when it is so bad that people really they live of Advil and they live of all kinds of anti-inflammatory and painkillers, and it's so sad. But I have had very, very good results with gua. It's a very hard word. Let me spell it. GUAIACUM. Guanosum. I can't spell it, but I've used it. It is a fabulous remedy. It's used for chronic forms of rheumatism. And with this remedy, you want to use a higher potency. You want to use at least 200 C or 1 LM. If you can't get it, contact me and I will see that you can purchase it from me, or I will direct you to a place where you can purchase it. All right, enough with the pain, right? We don't want, rheumatism is such an insidious and bad disease because it's all about pain and you can't move and you can't, it's sad. But the homeopathic remedies that I've told you, there are many more, but the ones that I've told you are the most successful. They really are. And if you stick with it, will it cure somebody? Well, yes, if you get it early enough. But if it's chronic already, it will at least stop the destruction. Because rheumatism, as arthritis, does have a destruction on tissue. And you don't want to keep on having it. So you be able to move and you're able to do things, and especially with the hands. My client who has it, it's very hard for her to even grab something. Now, for all those girls that don't want to age, I'm one of them. I don't want to age. And I am going to do everything in my power not to age. I have created a little facelift in a bottle. You have probably seen similar products online. And let me just put it on. It's just a little serum. And what that product does is you apply it to your face and let it dry. Now, All the other products that are out there are only temporary. They do not help you to restructure the face, to really lift it and for it to stay. So you don't have to apply it every day. In the beginning you do. For about a month, you apply it every day. Just apply it around your eyes, upper lip, right around here. Let it dry. Then you can apply either makeup or your day cream. I hope you do apply every day a sunscreen, because nothing will keep you younger looking than using a sunscreen every day, even if it's raining outside. Every day. Now, the second product, this comes in two. The second product is one that lips. Nothing makes you look older faster than old lips. You know, lips that have all these lines in here. Just apply on the side. Apply it to your lip. It's a beautiful lip gloss if you put it over your lipstick. But if you use it at night, and you should use it several times during the day if you can, your lips within 1 week will regain a very useful appearance. I don't have any lip injections. I don't have anything artificially done to my face or to my lips. It's all done with my products. They are called My Secret, and they are done each time. I mean, these two products are not individually formulated for the person. They are products that I make for everybody. Not terribly expensive. Email me if you're interested. I rush you a sample, and you can look great all your life, up in your 90s. Nobody has to age today anymore. Nobody. The products that I use are all the latest technology. The lip balm is made with coconut butter, zinc, and a lip plumper. The lip plumper is also a natural product. Tastes really very nice, and there's vitamin B in there also. So you get a little dose of vitamin B each time. Does not smear your lipstick, and it makes the lips just beautiful. The facelift in a bottle is made with products that are designed to help restructure the skin. Now, you guys probably are thinking, well, how would she know all that? Those of you who are watching the first time, I started my career out many, many, many years ago. And as an esthetician, I learned over the years, and I have helped hundreds of clients to stay useful the rest of their lives. I still do. Some of the products are made with homeopathy. Like, for instance, when I make an acne product, I do put a homeopathy remedy in there, depending on what is needed. But most of the products are made with technology advanced ingredients. No parabens, no preservatives. That's why everything comes in a pump bottle, so you don't put your finger in there and spoil the product. So for that, you really should email me and should say, hey, send me a sample. A small sample, I believe, is the postage, and I think it's $15 or something. So contact me if you want to look great all your life without injections. Please don't ever go that way, because it can destroy your skin. It can. Trust me, I know. So with that, do we have anybody in the chat?
Yeah, but no questions.
No question. Come on. Whoever is in the chat, show is almost to an end. We have another 2 minutes to go. Now is the time. Type it in, quick. What is your question? Let me tell you guys, my husband is 88 years old, and I'm going to have him on. I'm using the facelift right now on him. Was 88, he has a lot to work, okay? So I'm doing it only on one side, and I'm going to have him on one day, like in a week or so, when it has started to really work. The product works within several hours and keeps working. Okay? So, no question?
Nope.
No. All right. Well, guys, then I'm going to let you go. I wish you a fabulous week. Really, have a wonderful week. And listen next week, 8 o'clock, right here, the Gisela Show. Amnon, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
And I wish you guys a fabulous evening. Bye-bye.
You're tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section on nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Atomos.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.